You know, it's actually pretty hard to find a decent Thai guy as boyfriend. So if we look at the statistics, apparently there are more girls than guys. Out of the guys, some are married, some are taken, some are not straight, and some are straight up crusty. Out of 5 guys, you only get one decent guy. And you know, there's so many decent girls to fight for that one guy. Your girl cracked the code. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about how we met first and about my solo traveling phase of my life, and also dealing with loneliness, because you know that I moved to Bangkok alone. I didn't really know anyone here before I came here. Actually, when I came here, I knew that there was going to be something that makes me stay longer, but I just didn't know what it was. Got a man, which is rare, you know, for a foreigner girl, because usually girls that get a Thai boyfriend or Thai husband, they meet them abroad. One thing I want to point out is that a lot of Thai guys, actually, they don't know English, as in they're not as willing to learn English as Thai girls, is what I observe. And a lot of Thai girls, they know English and Mandarin Chinese. And you know what I realized? A lot of times on the street, it's always like a decent girl with a crusty guy. So it's either that they like their personality, or they don't care about looks, or there's not a lot of options for them. That's my theory. Basically, there's a lot of decent girls is what I'm trying to say. But that also makes it an advantage for foreigner guys that want to come to Thailand. Like, that's why you see a lot of foreigners with Thai girls. I think it kind of makes sense because there's not a lot of decent guys left, so maybe that's why they expand a little bit. Yeah, so my boyfriend, he won't be in this video, but this is my perspective of the story of how we met. When I came to Bangkok, I had Bumble. Actually, okay, back up a little bit. My whole life, I never had a boyfriend. I don't really have a chance to date because I grew up in the Midwest and there weren't a lot of Asians. And my type is like, I want him to be Chinese or at least Asian, because I would feel closer or more connected with that person. When I was in college, there was still not a lot of options available. I'm pretty specific with my type, and you know, like, just because you like somebody doesn't mean that they will like you. So usually in the past, like, I always get rejected, so I have a bit of trauma as well. So I left the US March 2023. I started my solo travel in Asia. Whenever I travel, I would use dating apps because I wanted to meet local or meet people there to show me around so that it's not as lonely. Maybe it can be a potential relationship, but realistically that is not that likely, especially because at that time I didn't have a home base, so I was just going places, like, don't know where the destination was. One way. At that time, I was actually attracting a lot of unstable guys, or guys that are not willing to settle down. It made me realize that it's not a long-term solution, and it's better to have a home base, like somewhere that I can go back to, somewhere that I can settle down in. And when I came to Bangkok in May, I had Bumble still, but it was a bit tiring to use because it's like that repeated cycle, and to me, I think it's a bit of waste of time. So then I deleted it for a solid 2 or 3 months. So I made a YouTube video in September, and in that video I said, I'm cutting all the guys out of my life. 1 or 2 weeks after I posted that video, I read a comment and someone said that it's better to try than to not try and like cut all the guys. And it's kind of true. So I downloaded Bumble again for like a couple of days, and during those days I just wanted to see what the market was like, or if there were any better decent guys out there. I have an ideal man list back then, the physical appearance and the qualities in terms of personality. Kind of low-key wanted a Thai boyfriend because I'm in Thailand. I used the filter on Bumble because I know that not a lot of guys can speak English. So I did the filter like English and Thai. I think I tried Cantonese or Chinese as well, but there's not a lot of Chinese in Thailand that are not uncles, if you know what I mean. I like the leader vibe. Someone that is mature. I really like mature because, like, I wouldn't want to date a little kid. It's just make use of the filter. I was so specific, like if they're above 165. I'm 163, so I think if they're a little bit above me, I think it's okay. But I have went on dates with guys that are shorter than me, and I can say that short guys are usually nice. They gotta use their personality to make up for the imperfection, but I think it's pretty cute when short guys are nice. So during those 2 days that I had Bumble, I matched with a few guys, but 2 I ended up setting up dates with. The first one that I went on, he wasn't my type. Then the second one, which is my current boyfriend, actually my mindset of meeting him was like, oh, I'm gonna go on this date and get this over with. The day that I went on the date with him, I think it was September 30th. That morning, I was actually filming with Pichon at Amphawa. We did like a merit with the monk, and then I wished to have a boyfriend, and then later that evening I went on a date with him. We met at Terminal 21 in front of Levi's, but then we went to Central Road to have Tom Smith boat noodle, and I have a picture I'll insert it. So that was our very first picture. It's quite significant. Or maybe that's also why I like Tom Smith, but I actually like to eat Tom Smith because I like noodles and soup. We went to Tom Smith, and then we walked around Central Road, and then we went to a cafe in Quezon. And then I just said, if you're seeing other girls, I don't have to be one of them. At that time, I didn't say it to play hard to get, but I said it because I actually thought that. Because you know, like on dating apps, everyone that you meet, they're also meeting other people. So everyone is seeing each other. What makes the other person settle down? I don't know. I don't want to be the one to like think too much. The thing that I might chop is when there are these like hidden rules in dating. Like for example, you gotta wait until like the third date to hug or hold hands. I don't like to play all these games. It's like if you chop, then go. If you might chop, then bye. I think we became official after 4 or 5 dates. I don't believe in right person, wrong time. Anyone can be the right person at any time. All the guys that I met in the past, they could have been a potential boyfriend if they are willing to settle down. And I know that sometimes like in life there are things that kind of prevent you from being together, but I feel like if you really wanted to, and if you really like that person, you will find a way. That's why I was pretty touched when I met my current boyfriend, because when I met him I was still unsure about if I want to stay in Thailand, but I knew I wanted to be here. I just didn't know how at that time. He made me feel secure and safe, as in this is a serious relationship, we're gonna be together type of thing, which is something that I kind of lacked because I used to solo travel for 2.5 months. Yeah, so I kind of desire a sense of security, and I think he gave me that. Yeah, I think he's watching he's watching this video. His English is super good. We always speak in English, so we don't really, I don't really have that much chance to speak in Thai. Language is not a barrier. Culture is not that much of a barrier because I like Thailand and I want to learn more. Having a Thai boyfriend, it makes me get to know Thailand differently in a good way. For example, I learned that every day of the week there's a color. Apparently, like Monday is yellow. So I also had a phase of loneliness, right? Before I met him, I was basically alone when I came here. If you go back to my old videos when I first moved to Bangkok, you can tell that I look really lonely, and to be honest, I don't want to look back at my old videos because I feel bad for my old self. Like I wish I can tell my old self to be more confident and that things will work out. Back then I would always ask myself, when will I have a boyfriend? At least like tell me, I want to know when, so that I know how long to be lonely for. To be honest, like the moment that you don't really think about it, it just shows up. Meeting him, it made my life better. There's stuff to look forward to. Like every weekend we eat momo. Talk a little bit about my past guys. According to my observations, I have good experiences with INFJ guys. INFJ guys, they're usually more caring and attentive. The 2 INFJ guys I met, they were both med students. My bad experiences were always ENFP guys. I think ENFP guys hurt me the most. They bring you a lot of excitement, but for me it feels really unstable and insecure. It's like, oh, I don't know what's next type of thing. Ugh. So my current boyfriend, he met me when I had 3,000 followers on IG, which is not a lot. Like I was still kind of a nobody, but he supported me. It's really touching when you kind of doubt yourself, but then someone kind of reassures you. And then sometimes I don't want to bother him, but then he'd be like, oh, we are in a relationship, we're like partners, so we're in the same team and we work together, which kind of touched me because in the past not a lot of guys wanted to settle down. It comes from back then I was like unstable. I was like traveling here and there. So that's why having a home base, having a place where I can go back to, it feels better. Recently we went to Japan together and I like knowing that I can go back to Bangkok, which is my home. I have a few tips for you guys. First tip, know a girl's period cycle. The week of the period, you're negative, and the week before you're also negative, so there's only like 2 weeks that you're productive out of the month. If you're a guy, it'll be really cute and nice if you kind of track the girl's cycle. Don't be creepy about it, but if they're like, it's here, then you kind of like make a note of it. Sometimes I'm pretty logical, but then the hormones just get me. It's a physical thing. Like I can't control it. And then the second tip, focus on your own life. Don't think about finding a partner, even though that is important. But I feel like the moment that you're able to be alone, then you're telling the universe that you deserve someone. The moment that you don't look for it, it just comes. Okay, to end this video, I'm gonna end it with a disclaimer. Relationship is about two people. Everyone is different, but I just want to share my experience. I hope that you got something out of this video, and I will see you in another video.